Do you want to get better audio for your documentaries? Today we're going to get very practical with examples of how to get better audio when you're shooting documentary content. We're going to focus on two different types of gear. We're going to focus on the Sanken COS-11D and the Sanken CS-M1. I recommend that you listen with headphones because these examples are pretty nuanced and you want to hear what I'm talking about with these examples. The CS-M1 is an ultra compact shotgun microphone. COS-11D is a lavalier microphone. Why are we talking about these two mics? Well, I just did a documentary shoot in Mexico. So all these samples are from this past week when I was shooting a documentary solo, because this gear can help you shoot better solo. That's one of the reasons I really like it. First up is the Sanken CS-M1. It's an ultra compact shotgun microphone. It's got a hypercardioid pickup pattern. It's very lightweight and it's rated for weather, so you can use it outside. Why do I really like this microphone? Well, I like it because it's short and it's easy to mount to the top of a camera, because when you're shooting documentaries solo, you do rely on your camera mic a lot. You don't always have the option to sit somebody down and formally mic them up. So I really like this mic for camera mounting. Now, the samples you're going to hear for this mic are plugged into my XLR1 adapter on my S5 camera. I have the version 1 of the S5 and I run the XLR1 adapter on the top. The reason you have to use an adapter like this is because the CS-M1 requires phantom power. It's an XLR microphone and it requires phantom power. So you need to plug it into a camera that has that capability. Let's listen to an interview that I did with the CS-M1. I was about 3 feet away and I was in a kitchen environment, a commercial kitchen environment where there was roughly 20 people in close proximity. So you have noise and you have utensils and people walking around, and just keep that in mind. 3 feet away, loud area. And then also I want you to listen to the unprocessed audio off the camera first. So this is unprocessed off the camera.
Some want to go on to work in restaurants like this girl right here with the white shirt. She graduated last year, but now because her parents are going to open a coffee shop, they also want to make food for that coffee shop. So she's here spending more time with us, learning, going back over recipes and what things that they could be making in their coffee shop.
I'm going to put some light audio processing on here, and exactly what I'm doing is in Final Cut, I'm going to use voice isolation. Stock. Just turn the switch on up on the top right where it says voice isolation. That's all I do. So here is the exact same interview with voice isolation activated.
Some want to go on to work in restaurants like this girl right here with the white shirt. She graduated last year, but now because her parents are going to open a coffee shop, they also want to make food for that coffee shop. So she's here spending more time with us, learning, going back over recipes and what things that they could be making in their coffee shop.
You can hear just in the unprocessed version that this microphone performs incredible as a camera mounted microphone in a loud space. It gets even better when you put just a little bit of voice isolation on it, and it's quite amazing. For this documentary, I was also shooting scenics. So I'm going to play back some of those right now, and this is literally just the microphone on the camera in a natural setting, unprocessed. I honestly think the only thing that would make those ambient sounds sound better is if I recorded them in stereo. I've got another interview here that I'm going to show you. This one was outside, and I think I was roughly 4 feet away from the subject. And this is the CS-M1, 4 feet away, outside. There's considerably less background noise. This is the raw audio.
Ok, creo que fue un llamado que pude recibir de Dios, de poder prepararme para conocerlo más a Él, pero también para servirle, servir en el ministerio.
And now here's what it sounds like with Final Cut Pro voice isolation turned on. Same settings as before.
Ok, creo que fue un llamado que pude recibir de Dios, de poder prepararme para conocerlo más a Él, pero también para servirle, servir en el ministerio.
The next mic I want to talk about is the Sanken COS-11D. It's a lavalier microphone, and for these samples I'm going to play, it was going directly into my Wizicom MTP61 transmitter, recording. It wasn't transmitting because I was by myself, so I just used my MTP61s as recorders a lot of the time. And this sample has no processing on it. He was standing in front of kind of a busy pedestrian street. So that's what this sounds like.
All right, well, I direct the Spanish school, which is primarily for missionaries or cross-cultural Christians. I teach in the Bible school for second year missiology, first year Old and New Testament surveys, sometimes Christology.
And now I'm going to apply Final Cut Pro voice isolation to that example.
I direct the Spanish school, which is primarily for missionaries or cross-cultural Christians. I teach in the Bible school for second year missiology, first year Old and New Testament surveys, sometimes Christology.
Now it's time for a direct comparison. I had a 2-person interview that I was doing. So I put 2 Sanken COS-11Ds, 1 on each person, and I was about, in this case, probably 5 feet away from the subjects. And I want you to hear the comparison of what the COS-11D sounds like that's right on him, and then I'm going to switch over to the CS-M1 that was on the camera 5 feet away.
We have 82 churches in our network right now. So when we talk about how they were planted, each one of them is as unique as a baby being born. I mean, it's like everyone's uniquely different, but primarily, especially in the unreached Chatino areas, the Chatino Indians, also among the Mixtecos. To say again, we've taken medical clinics. People began to get saved, then we take a short-term team and a medical clinic again, then we go visit them again, and we make multiple visits. We just keep visiting, we keep visiting.
In traditional settings, a microphone that's 5 feet away, mounted on the camera, should not sound that good. It just should not sound that good. This microphone blows my mind, basically. Now I'm going to play that same exact sample with voice isolation applied to each microphone so that you can hear that.
We have 82 churches in our network right now. So when we talk about how they were planted, each one of them is as unique as a baby being born. I mean, it's like everyone's uniquely different, but primarily, especially in the unreached Chatino areas, the Chatino Indians, also among the Mixtecos. To say again, we've taken medical clinics. People began to get saved, then we take a short-term team and a medical clinic again, then we go visit them again, and we make multiple visits. We just keep visiting, we keep visiting.
Now we're going to do a direct shootout between 2 different lav mics. A popular lav mic that I've used in the past is the Sennheiser ME2. And I'm going to put that right up against the COS-11D. Okay, so the ME2 is what you're going to hear first. That is going directly into a Tentacle Track E recorder. And I want you to hear what that sounds like right now.
I look forward to the day when we will all speak in one tongue, tongues, nations, and tribes will come together and be before the face of Jesus.
Estoy ansioso por ese día en que todos, toda tribu y nación estemos delante de Dios en un solo idioma.
Now later in the day, I had the same guy that I was filming. He wore a COS-11D going into my Wizicom MTP61, and I want you to hear what that sounds like.
God has put specific people in my life over my ministry years to show me Jesus.
Dios ha puesto a diferentes personas en mi vida durante mi ministerio y mi tiempo de vida para mostrarme a Jesús.
You can definitely hear a different character happening between these two microphones. To my ears, the COS-11D sounds more full and rich and natural. The ME2 sounds a little more not as clear and doesn't have as much roundness to it, okay? You can use your ears and make your own decision, but I wanted you to hear that direct comparison so you could hear what they sound like head to head. Documentaries are based on sound, okay? Before you invest heavily into an expensive camera, I would highly advise to invest more heavily in some better audio gear. It'll help your documentary shooting just go farther, okay? Again, I've shot entire documentaries on my S5, which is not a very expensive camera. And the good audio that I can bring to the table is what differentiates some documentaries that I've made, okay? Now, the COS-11D is a microphone that I'm going to recommend to just about everybody that's running a wireless system. You can buy a COS-11D and get the termination for just about any wireless transmitter on the market, okay? When you look at the COS-11D online, you'll find lots of options, okay? You have to find the option that plugs into your wireless pack, and it's specific. Like, for example, the Sony connection maybe looks a little bit like the Sennheiser connection, but they are wired differently. So if you look up COS-11D in your mic pack, you can find one that will plug into your pack. Upgrading to the COS-11D will be a very important thing for you to do if you're serious about documentary. It's around a $400 to $500 investment, and trust me, it's a good investment, okay, regardless of the wireless system that you have. I'm running Wizicom. Before that, I ran Sennheiser. You know, upgrade the mic capsule before you upgrade the wireless pack. All right, that's my advice. Now, in terms of the CS-M1, I would say if you're solo shooting and you're frustrated with your audio, if you're frustrated with how it sounds, and how if you're running and gunning and you don't have the option to like put a mic on somebody and you just need to run up to somebody and grab an interview and you're like, man, I want that to sound better, okay? The CS-M1 is the ticket. But like I said before, you have to have an XLR adapter on your camera and it needs to provide phantom power. Once you get a camera that can do that, or you buy the XLR block or the adapters for your camera, the CS-M1 can revolutionize the sound of your B-roll. Don't get discouraged by the price of this gear. I think the first thing that you could do if you want to get more serious about documentary sound is get that COS-11D that's compatible with your wireless. And you will thank me. Your ears will thank me. Keep in mind that I wasn't running some of this gear until recently, okay? I spent a lot of my career shooting on other microphones, but I'm telling you what, when I made the investment into this Sanken gear, I mean, my ears were very pleased at what I was hearing, and yours should be too. So as usual, get out there and record some great sound. Stick with it. If you're freelancing and it's tough, it'll get better. If you're freelancing and it's great, well, prepare for some slow times because they come, okay? So just stick with it, hang in there, buy gear systematically, slowly, as you book jobs that need it, okay? Don't go out and buy a bunch of gear that you can't afford with the promise of booking some jobs that you don't have. So as you get more experience and as you get hired to do more things, audio is something you should seriously look at to upgrade first, okay? So I believe in you. I know you can do this, and we will see you in the next one.